Welcome, fight fans, to episode 97 of the Hooks In MMA podcast. We've got a big UFC this weekend, UFC 295 from Madison Square Garden, New York City. No Bones Jones this one. He's on the shelf nursing an injury. We hope he's back because it was the all-time GOAT here going up against Miocic originally. But hey, we've got a pretty good backfill here with Alex Pereira and Yuri Prochazka. And then, of course, the interim title fight featuring Sergey Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall to make up for that canceled bout. But we're going to jump right into easy lines here, give you our best bets, and hopefully meet you at the cashier right around 2 a.m. Sunday morning and getting ahead of that book. So, Zoni, why don't you kick things off? We'll start with the prelims and then finish off with the main card here.
Yeah, I got Emmers in the first one. He's a veteran in the UFC, coming up against a guy that's, a little unique, but I just think he doesn't have the skill set or the experience. So I got Emmers in the first one there.
Yeah. That strength of schedule, I think, is the X factor. And I'm going to ride with him. Obviously, not the craziest odds, minus 270 here as the favorite, but could be a nice parlay piece to start off the card with a green check mark. Perfect. So looking ahead, who do you got next here on the undercard?
Yeah, we don't have to go through all of them here. I'm really interested to see what happens between the Sidikov and Borshev fight.
Okay.
Slava Claus trying to put together a win streak here. It's really a toss-up for me. I just think that with the amount of skill on both sides, that it could go to the scorecard. So I got it over 2.5.
Yeah, I think that's a good call, right? Like, so Slava Claus, slight dog, I think has the grappling and wrestling edge. And if he can just get him down on the ground, maybe win some points with some ground and pound, squeeze out maybe a 29-28 unanimous decision and obviously hit on that plus money. So that could be an interesting, dual fork, or not dual forecast, but just saying, Slava by decision could get some nice juicy prop value there.
What does that pay, guys?
Don't have Bet365 pulled up, but I can definitely do that. My guess here is going to be something around plus 200, 3-1 odds, 33% probability.
Yeah, plus 375.
Whoa. That's much higher than I expected.
It's some juice, though.
Yeah, so they're expecting this to finish then. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and it definitely could. They both have the power. I just think both of them are good enough to keep it going for a significant amount of time. But never know.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare that to just money line of 2-1 odds, I think it's kind of a no-brainer to go on the plus 375. Yeah, so that could be a nice one.
Maybe that's the play then.
Yeah,
that's the smarter play.
I mean, hey, if you're looking for a single bet, I think that's the route you go, plus 375. But if you're just trying to build a parlay out, maybe you go money line and just get that plus 110 juice there. And
to go over or go the distance is plus 145. So it's okay, but it's not great.
Yeah. No, I like that Slava Claus. I think that's kind of hidden value there. And yeah, I think realistically could get that W in his hand raise. So let's jump back here. What are your thoughts on the Jared Gordon Mark Mazden fight? I was looking into this one earlier and think it's a pretty interesting matchup.
It is interesting. Madsen obviously was undefeated his whole career until he came up against somebody with just as good takedown defense and pressure. And Jared Gordon is that, and he's also a dog. So he's coming off that decision against Paddy Pimblett, that he lost. That everyone thinks he won.
Yeah.
And he has something to prove, and he's an absolute dog. So I got him money line. He could even get a finish here, but the money line at minus 188 looks really good to me.
Yeah, the book definitely is thinking this one goes to the cards, because if you look at KO or submission, you're looking at plus 500, plus 700 respectively, which is definitely long shot odds, right? For a favorite. Now, when you look at the by points, it's only plus 137. So I don't know. I do like Jared to get the win. I think Mark Madston, as everyone knows, is one dimensional, doesn't have much of a striking game. He's going to be going in for the clinch and the takedown. And I'm sure Jared Gordon in his camp is prepared for that and ready to hopefully stifle those takedowns
He
and
will.
get him at range, right?
Yeah.
Trying to pick him apart. I could see some leg kicks coming in handy there in the first round, just to hopefully wobble him. And you're right, he could tag him, stand up, get a maybe club and sub, which would be a plus 700, or just
Yeah.
finish him with some like nasty elbows or something.
Yeah, he definitely could. My lock this like entire card. Uh, I have two of them. One I'll get to after. Don't want to ruin it. This one, Jared Gordon money line, and then
Yeah,
that sneaky, like I think definitely could happen is a finish by strike. So that's a
yeah,
great amount of value there.
yeah. Like 6 times your money seems crazy to me. And again, similar to the last one, on a single bet, that's a great return. And I just don't think Mark Masden has the well-rounded skills that you need in the UFC octagon. So yeah, Jared Gordon's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He thinks he won that Paddy Pimblett fight. I do too. I would have raised his hand, but obviously USC has an agenda with Paddy. He's a little more marketable, and he's a fan favorite. So totally get the business side of things, which hopefully doesn't corrupt the sport, but it does have an effect on the judges, in my opinion. So
And hopefully, to your point, doesn't backfire when he possibly could lose to Tony Ferguson coming up. You never know.
absolutely, like the gatekeeper of all gatekeepers, I think could actually squeak out a win there and potentially continue his career. We shall see. Time will
Yeah,
tell. But that will be interesting to see, because that's next couple of weeks, isn't it?
yeah,
Cool. Let's keep things rolling here. I know we were talking a bit about this one just before we started recording, and that's Matthews Rebecki versus Roosevelt Roberts. What are your thoughts on this match?
yeah. I hadn't checked the odds before we were talking about this. I didn't realize Roberts was that big of a dog here. He's been around the block. It's time to come back and show that he belongs. However, he's in tough here. Um, I don't have a pick for this, but I would love to just take the plus 500 and put $5 on it and parlay it with the other one we were talking about, Gordon by strikes. Just put $5 on that. But other than that, I don't have any suggestions. I don't love the odds here.
Exactly. Like, hey, I think there's a point that none of us can dispute. Typically, 99 times out of 100, Tapology has the odds listed on this page, tail of the tape. It's not listed here. That tells me that all the sports books have it at wildly different odds. Going by Bet365, Matthews is minus 700. Seems way too wide. Seems like this one's should be closer to like minus 300, plus 200, something like that. So to see Roberts at plus 500, the guy, look at just the physical attributes, 73-inch reach advantage, or sorry, that's his reach versus a 66. That's 7 inches of reach plus 5'7" versus 6'2". Something tells me Roberts can just pick away at him from the outside, kind of circle the cage. Could end up in a decision where he just technically strikes him. Plus 1100 for decision, 12-1 odds. Sign me up. I'm going with that.
I don't know how this is possible.
Yeah, really crazy. Obviously, they suspect that Rebecca's just going to go in for a takedown and then just like crush him on the ground. But I don't know.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, if Roberts can just, block those takedowns, I think he could find some success on the feet. So definitely watch that one, guys. It could be a really interesting stylistic matchup versus, a wrestler versus a long, lanky striker here.
So I just
Cool.
wanted to give a that Roosevelt Roberts by money line and Jared Gordon by KO or TKO or DQ. $5 pays 180. So just a little back pocket $5 investment.
Yep. They love those, and for only two outcomes to happen, seems more realistic than the odds make it seem. So anyways, let's move on here. Who did you want to feature next on the prelims?
Yeah, prelims. I was going to move on to the first fight of the main card, but if
Sure.
you want to do a prelim one before that.
Well, the one we were talking about was Hooks and alum here, Lupita Lupi Godinez. She's Mexican / Canadian. Looked pretty good so far. She, if everyone remembers, had that quick turnaround in the octagon there. And is just a gamer. I think she's, a really well-rounded fighter. She can beat you on the feet, is pretty good on the ground. Obviously, Ricci is no slouch herself, 9-1 record here. But I just like the over on this one. If you look at the prop betting, I think that could be a pretty good lock to throw in a parlay. Obviously, not the craziest value of sorts, but if we're looking to go to the distance, minus 300, throw that in with maybe a 3-4 fight parlay, and I think this is a very high chance of happening.
I couldn't agree more.
Cool. Let's look to the main card then. So we've got, is it Pat Sabatini kicking us off? Perfect.
Yeah, and this is one of the fights that I'm looking forward to most. I just think it's going to be an absolute war. Could be a quick war, but it's going to be exciting. Yeah, I got Pat Sabatini here. Lopez gets a little bit wild, and I think against Pat, he's the high IQ guy. I think he's going to be able to capitalize on that. So I just have him money line, but these guys are both like shorter, stocky, like really thick, strong guys. I just think it's going to be a battle, but I think Sabatini's going to out IQ him.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Definitely the experience edge goes to Sabatini. He's looked pretty good, honestly. In his last few fights, he had that tough knockout loss to our boy Damon the Leech Jackson. But other than that, yeah, pretty solid over the course of the last 5. And Lopez only 2 fights in the octagon thus far. So yeah, for those near even odds, I'm really liking Sabatini as well. And I think that'd be a great addition to a parlay because you're almost getting a 2-to-1 return and doubling up what those odds look like. Cool. Moving forward, let's go with another Hooks and alum here. Matt the Steamroller Frivola versus Benoit Saint Denis.
Yeah, this is another banger. Again, I think someone's going to get finished in this one, unless it's just a crazy war, 3 rounds. I'm just going to go with Frivola here. He's on a hot streak. He's been knocking people out. And I think his takedown defense, he's already said on social media, I actually want him to come in and try to wrestle me. And he's like encouraging it, playing mind games. I got him with money line, plus 187.
Yeah, that's a great money line bet. If you look to knock out, you're not getting too much value at plus 350. I don't know. I think they both are somewhat durable and could just like slug it out and go to decision, which you look at that plus 800. That seems interesting for a longer shot bet, 9-to-1 odds. It's only about what, 11.5%. I think it's closer to maybe a 20% chance. So could be some hidden value in there. But yeah, if you want to go the safe route, I think Frivola money line plus 187 could be a great parlay with something else. Maybe you go him and Sabatini there, and that would be close to 4-to-1 odds. So anyways, I do like Frivola here, and this one will be exciting. I think regardless of the outcome, there's going to be some fireworks. Cool.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man.
Then we've got Andrade versus Dern. This one here is I believe, top contender fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if not like next in line. But
right.
Just with these two, like they're both coming off divorces and they're both looking to just impose will. So it's going to be another hammer town fight too. I don't have a pick. I think someone's going to get finished though, so I would pick that if I would pick anything.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the boosted here. It's not great, but Dern under 2.5 rounds is boosted up 10 cents from +110 to +120. Could see that happening. I could even see Andrade winning a war. Her over 1.5 rounds is boosted from +275 to +300. That's a nice 4-to-1 return there.
Not bad.
Because that will even cash in if she gets a late knockout or a late sub. So that could be interesting. Yeah, I might go with Andrade just to get back in the win column here. She's had some tough losses here, as you could see. Finished 3 times in a row after coming off. I remember that Lauren Murphy fight. She seemed to dominate her in that one. So, yeah, you know what? I just have a weird feeling about Andrade getting the win here, and maybe you just take her money line to be a little bit safe and get that +170 juice on the dog. So, anyways, should be a good match. And you're right. I think they're both going to come out firing in the first round. So in our last couple minutes here, let's look ahead to Sergey Pavlovich versus Tom Aspinall. This is the interim heavyweight championship of the world. 2 international fighters, right? 2 highly touted prospects, I'd say, over the last, 2 to 3 years now, becoming more veterans as they get more experience in the cage. Really, really close odds. As you could see here, it's a pick'em fight. Who are you leaning towards?
Yeah, like Aspinall looked unbelievable after coming back from the injury. Pavlovich has looked untouchable. Aspinall, I think, wins this fight by taking him to the ground and beating him up there. We haven't seen Pavlovich on his back. And Pavlovich has got the best boxing in the entire division. I'm just going to go with the underdog here, the plus money. And Pavlovich, nobody's stopped him yet. Maybe nobody's going to stop him after Saturday night.
Yeah, I guess the only blemish there, right, was who's the Dutch kickboxer?
Sorry, yes. Yes, he did have the one loss. Struve?
No, it was Overeem, which
Overeem.
you look back to that fight, Overeem got him down and just laid on him and got the finish. So since then, he's really rounded his takedown defense, and obviously Aspinall isn't one of those grappler wrestlers. He's a stand-up artist. So I do think this one will be very exciting. There's going to be a lot of blood, is my prediction. You can't bet on that, of course, but I'm liking the dog value here. It's weird. Tapology has it as -105, but if you look at that 365, it's +100 for Pavlovich. So I like that one, throwing into a parlay, not getting crazy value on its own, but I don't know. The decision, I guess it is a 5-round fight, +1600 by Pavlovich. That, I don't know, could happen, but definitely a long shot.
Yeah.
Cool. So we got 2 minutes left. Let's look ahead to the light heavyweight championship of the world. We've got Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. This one's been, I think, talked about for a while here, and Pereira looking to get the strap for a second division in the UFC. Not simultaneously, but still ascending from middleweight up to light heavyweight. What do you feel?
I heard on the countdown today he'd be the 9th person to ever get a two division champ.
Interesting stat. Yeah, great opportunity for him. He looked pretty good versus Jan. Was a split decision, of course, but I think he does have the frame and just the body mass to compete at this level. Who are you taking?
I had my earlier lock of the night, Jared Gordon, and my second lock of the night is Alex Pereira, second title here. Prochazka's been off on the shelf for a while, hasn't fought, coming back from injury. It's been a while. He also is a guy I mentioned in a previous fight on this card that a little bit wild at times, and it has worked to his ability. But Pereira is so good standing up. He'll see the wild stuff, and I think he's going to counter it beautifully. I could even see a finish, but my lock is money line. New.
I like it. I think obviously his stand-up game's more technical. It's more polished. Prochazka's got that weird kind of I don't know if you call it karate, but it's just like a funky kind of footwork and I don't
Samurai.
know. Yeah, just like unorthodox striking could pose some problems because I don't know if Pierre has actually fought someone like that.
Yeah.
But I do think in the long run, if you run this 100 times, Pierre is winning, I don't know, 70 times out of the 100. So yeah, I'm leaning towards him too. The odds again are almost pick 'em, which is kind of great. Both headline fights are 50-50 ones, so anything can happen. But yeah, let's go with Alex for the dub, and hopefully we'll be seeing you at the cashier here Saturday night. So thanks for tuning in. Good luck this weekend. We'll see you on the flip side.